Hey guys, Ben here and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about Superman and Lois Season 3. The first set photos have been released from Superman and Lois Season 3, so we've got to talk about them because they are definitely very interesting and there's a lot to break down, so please be sure to leave a like and a comment if you do go on to enjoy the video. Also subscribe and turn on notifications if you're new so you don't miss any future videos later this year. Okay, so like I said, you're not going to want to miss out on this because we just got official confirmation via photos from Frog Photography, some absolutely stunning photos. Going to leave a link in the description below to Frog's Twitter where you can take a glimpse at some of these photos. I'm going to be including them in my video, but I would recommend still going over, following Froggy so that you can stay up to date with anything that's going on in Vancouver because they are such a great photographer. You always capture every moment in such a nice way. So what are in the photos? Well, the main photo of interest is this photo right here. So you can see this is Tyler Hoechlin dressed up as Superman. And so we're going to be breaking down the main differences between Superman's old suit from last season and this new suit. So you might be asking, what is this new suit? Why is it different? Well, as you can see on this photo, there is actually the cape attachment, but in this photo the cape isn't attached. I believe they were doing a couple of green screen shots here and there where they didn't have the cape attached, and I'm not sure if he takes it off between takes. I'm kind of unsure about that one bit. However, he does have a cape. That isn't the big difference we're talking about here. You can see that in other photos that on the set he was wearing a cape as well. Anyway, so the main difference here is Superman's crest. So his symbol on his chest is the main difference that we're seeing in the new photos from Frog Photography. And so if we put up a graphic on the screen side by side with this photo we've just been talking about and also the photo of him in season 2, you can see the main difference. Well, what is the main difference to do with this chest emblem? Well, it's just more like kind of embossed, it kind of sticks out a bit more. I don't know how to best describe it, but basically it's not just kind of flat on his suit, it's actually poking out. It's more like the Man of Steel emblem, I would say, just in the way that it all looks. And in terms of color, I mean the color looks pretty much exactly the same as the previous one. I wouldn't say that is a difference at all, although there's definitely a difference in the blue of the suit. It looks a little bit different. Again, it could just totally be the grading of this photo from Frog Photography. I have no idea what it looks like in real life. However, it looks like a slightly different shade of blue. But in terms of going back to the emblem, I would say definitely the fact that it pokes out more is the main difference. I don't know if they're going to be using this emblem and this suit for every shot because sometimes they have like stunt costumes when they have to do stunts, so maybe it's going to look a tiny bit different, but nevertheless it's very cool, and I would say this is a great new choice for them to do because it does make it look more realistic. It makes it look kind of less costumey, I guess, just in the way that it's more bold and doesn't look kind of like he's wearing a cosplay suit or something. It looks more advanced is what I'm trying to say. But in terms of like the actual lining of the suit and what it looks like in his kind of body area, he's got obviously the six-pack. That's like a big thing. I do feel like they've actually changed it quite a decent amount, and you just need to look quite carefully at the previous suit and the way that, you know, that was before. It looks somewhat similar in terms of like, yeah, there is the six-pack kind of situation going on, but a big difference is actually the fact that this new suit doesn't have a lot of those linings that the previous suit had. There is lots of ways that kind of like went out from, you know, with inside his chest area, and it kind of defined the different areas, like the shoulders. It had kind of like pads, and then had some lines going off in different directions. Again, I don't know the sewing actual terms, but what I can say is it looks different. There is less of this. It's more of a overall suit. Like if you look at his arms and then you look at his chest area and his body area, it's just a continuation. There isn't separations with different like zones of different materials or anything going in kind of different ways, blocking it off and making it kind of more patchy like the other suit. So I really like this. I think it's really clean. I think it looks actually really nice. Now, in terms of his belt, is there any difference? Well, if you look at his past belt, it looks pretty much exactly the same as this. It's, you know, largely red, and then it has that middle bit, so it's pretty much exactly the same. I don't think they've actually changed that. If we go down and look at his leg area, it's similar to before, but it's obviously this same color that he's got going on right now, but they do have the same kind of changes that they've done from the top of the suit down in the leg area, because in the past suit, in the past season, there was again different areas with different lines in the sewing and in the seams, I guess you could call it. And with this one, it just looks like it's just one kind of legging kind of get up, and it's all combined. It's that same kind of glossy material, or at least that's just a reflection of the sun and the way that it's hitting the suit. But it looks really nice, and I think it's going to look really great on camera. I didn't actually see any photos of his boots, so I can't make any comparisons there, but I have to say it's just so nice to be getting these photos from the set, to actually get content from our Arrowverse shows again. Obviously Stargirl's on right now, but I have to catch up with that, so that's my own thing I have to deal with. But nevertheless, get excited guys, because we're going to get more Arrowverse content as the Flash starts filming just today. I can't wait to talk about the Flash. But also Superman and Lois has been filming, and this is their first public filming since season 3 began production. And I'm going to pop up a photo on the screen right here. You can see Tyler Hoechlin as Superman on set in Vancouver with none other than Tom Cavanagh, who is directing the first episode of this new season. So that is very exciting by itself, because Tom Cavanagh always does great episodes, and it's great seeing him back. Hopefully he's going to be involved somehow in the Flash's final season. Surely he'll be directing an episode, and if not, showing up as Reverse Flash in some way, or Harrison Wells. But that is just so exciting. Obviously as an Arrowverse fan, I love to see the actors getting involved, and someone like Tom Cavanagh has been so involved recently that he's become like a go-to director on these shows, and so it's really nice to see him filming with Superman and Lois again. And again, in this photo, what I said before, you can actually see Tyler in his cape. I don't know if this cape is anything different, and I don't know about the shading, but it looks really nice. That's what I will say. And so in terms of a villain that we've seen in the past, and we have seen this villain in the past, and that villain is in fact Atom Man. We've seen him in some flashbacks in season 1. He was actually one of Superman's first villains that he had to deal with during his time in Metropolis, so you can presume he is back fighting on the streets in Metropolis in this episode when they're filming out here. And so somehow this guy has escaped, and he's back, and he's fully suited up in the same costume that he was wearing. Basically, if you guys remember, when Superman was actually wearing that old suit, like his original suit when he first started superheroing, which obviously is a reference to Action Comics and the way that he looked like in the comics. This is the same villain that he took down in that episode briefly during the flashbacks, and so it's great to see him back and actually getting a proper episode, because we only saw him briefly in that episode as a flashback. But this seems like it's present day because it's Superman and he's wearing a new suit. We haven't seen this suit before, so you can presume it's set in the present day, and we're going to see them two facing off against each other. Obviously the Atom Man has this, you know, kind of Earth X insignia on his chest just to signify his kind of allegiance, I guess. I don't remember if he was actually linked to Earth X at all, but in the Arrowverse that sign means something that I'm not going to mention here, but you guys know if you know. Anyway, so this next photo is from Frog Photography once again. It's a really great photo. You see what they were actually filming. So during the scenes when they were filming on this day, they were filming this confrontation between the two of them, and it does confirm that they are in fact in Metropolis during this scene, because they've got a door of a Metropolis taxi. So Superman has flown back to Metropolis. He's trying to take down the Atom Man, but the Atom Man seemingly has pulled off a taxi door and he's like trying to, you know, fling it at Superman and try and defeat him. But they're both very powerful, and it doesn't seem like they come to any sort of conclusion apart from Superman gets smacked around a little bit. So that is kind of what we get from the photos, and once again, go check out Frog Photography's Twitter page if you want to stay up to date with Vancouver and their amazing photos. But for now, we're going to move on to the next thing. This comes from Canada Graph's, going to be leaving his Twitter and blog link in the description below, because we're going to be going over a little bit of his new post, and this actually shows a different side to what was happening during the Superman Lois filming. And what he was able to see was actually to do with Michael Bishop showing up on the film set for the very first time. Michael Bishop, if you guys don't remember, was just recently cast as the new Jonathan Kent. Obviously he's a recasting, and this is the first time he's been seen out in public filming for the new role that he's just been cast in. And so apparently, according to Canada Graph's blog, in the first scene when Michael Bishop and Elizabeth Tulloch were on set, so this was a slightly different location because it was two different characters and two different actors. In the first scene, the pair were driving one of the new trucks that the Kent boys' granddad gave them at the end of last season down a street in Smallville, with Lois in the passenger's side clearly giving him lessons. They had the truck up on the flatbed so they could film the scene with the camera crew propped up on the side of the truck. That's just a standard filming procedure when you're filming in cars. At one point, I guess he hits the brake too hard and they both lunge forward and back. This causes frustration for Jonathan, and then eventually the pair continue on their practice. So this is what's going on. This is them just kind of continuing on from season 2 and where we left Jonathan off. But obviously the big difference is we got this recast character, and so it's gonna take definitely some adjusting, but it seems this is like a normal scene in Smallville, just of them practicing in this new car, because, you know, it's a big ass car if you guys remember. So definitely very interesting. Also, Canada Graph's got some great photos of the set and actually them in the car whilst they're talking and obviously doing their practicing. You can really see everything that's going on, and you can clearly see that they're on this trailer, and that's just for safety, plus also to get the camera on so they can mount it properly next to the car and it's nice and still for the shot. So it's going to look very cool, and I look forward to seeing this in the actual episode. And you can see the way that they've kind of lit it and tried to control the sunlight as well, which is very interesting to me, as I am also a filmmaker myself. So yeah, I can't wait to see this, and good job for Canada Graph's for getting such good photos, which I'm sure you've seen a couple of them throughout this video, but nevertheless, go check out Canada Graph's blog to stay up to date. Also follow his Twitter, as well as Frog Photography's Twitter as well, to stay up to date with everything going on to do with the Arrowverse shows in Vancouver. But for now, if you did enjoy this video and if it did help you out, plus interested you, please be sure to leave a like and a comment. It would really help out the channel to get it out there and beat the YouTube algorithm. But also subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any future videos. But for now, I'll catch you guys later. Goodbye.
I see red.